Have you seen this demonstration before?
No.
Do you understand like why we're here?
I guess it's for vegan.
Vegan, yeah.
Yes, to save the planet.
Yeah.
To save the animals.
It's about animal rights, but also about the environment and health. Yeah. You say you're all vegetarians.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're from
exactly.
from India.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So what I would say to vegetarian is, do you consume dairy and eggs still? Yeah.
We don't like.
No eggs.
No eggs, but yes,
just-
for milk and
Just milk.
and cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese
So
is minimum when we go out.
yeah.
We have burger. That's
So,
the only time we have cheese.
Are you aware of like the dairy industry
Dairy industry.
and like how quite horrific it can be? Are you aware of like the whole process that the cows go through in the calves? Do you know?
We only know that cow gives milk and
Yeah.
from the milk they produce this
Yeah.
cheese and
But
stuff.
why does the cow produce milk?
For the baby, for sure.
For the baby cow, yeah?
No.
So does the cow produce milk naturally if it wasn't pregnant? So the first thing you have to do is impregnate the cow. Yeah. So they use like artificial insemination most of the time. So they'll get the sperm from a bull, inject it into the cow, and they do this on an industrialized scale. And then what happens to the baby cow? What do you think happens to the calf?
They grow up, I guess.
She gets artificial milk.
Well, if it's a boy, what happens?
I think they use for meat production.
Yeah, have you heard of veal meat? Veal?
Oh shit.
So veal industry exists, and veal as a product exists purely because of the dairy industry. I mean, why else would you have all this? So what they actually do is sometimes they restrict their movement, and that makes a very pale meat. So they actually keep them in veal crates. They've actually been banned in a lot of countries now because it's just so cruel. Baby taken from its mother, restricted for move. But the veal industry is the dairy industry. So there is. What I'm saying is, by buying dairy, you're supporting the death of animals. And then what do you think happens to the cows once their milk production slows after about 4 years, maybe 4 pregnancies? They slaughter the cows as well. So you're actually, in some ways, if you think about it, what would you rather be? Would you rather be a meat cow
Or rather be
or a
vegan.
dairy cow? Impregnated 4 times, 4 pregnancies, having 4 children taken away from you, milked on a daily basis in quite painful conditions. They've been selectively bred to have oversized udders, to have a way higher than natural milk production. And then eventually you're killed after a pretty exhausting, like 4 or 5 years, pretty torturous life. And in mega dairies, in the factory dairy farms, they don't really get to ever see the sun or the grass. It can be pretty torturous. Or you could just be a meat cow. I think I'd rather be a meat cow if it came to it.
We support more vegan.
Yeah.
And, there is one festival coming up in Barun, if you know the Barun city.
I don't know.
Barun, it's
In India?
No, here in
Here?
Czech Republic.
Oh, in Czech.
You have Gladlu, you have Barun.
Yeah.
So there is one city, Barun. We have Indian restaurants. We have 3 Indian restaurants.
Yeah.
So we supporting vegans.
Yeah.
And they are organizing a festival for vegan people.
I mean,
To promote vegan.
being vegan is the best thing for our environment. That's
Do you
what
think
I
there's
can-
any alternatives you could have instead of dairy?
Yeah, we have soya.
Soya milk.
Soya?
Coconut
Soya milk.
Do you like those milks?
No, with the thing is, to be very truth, we never tried soya much. Soya milk we didn't try,
Yeah.
but we use soya in the house,
Yeah.
and we use for protein we use fazule, rajma, red beans.
Lentils.
Beans, yeah, lentils, beans, yeah. So I'm from England, and we have like a massive Indian influence, and like our national dish is like the curry now. We all go for curries and beers. Yeah, well, obviously I get the more of the dals and stuff like that. So like, I guess my question to you is, if you obviously care about the animals, and the question is it worth? Would you be able to choose a plant milk like soya milk and stop supporting that dairy industry that causes so much suffering to the cows? They're very intelligent animals. And then you'd be vegan. You'd be fully vegan. You can use coconut milk in cooking if you want. Do you think you'd be able to do that?
There's nothing all I can promise because I really don't know. Because all of my life, I'm 42 years old.
I'm
now,
32, yeah.
And I've been through. It's See, being vegetarian for me, it's very easy.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'm born vegetarian.
Yeah, I was actually born vegetarian as well.
Yeah, so
So,
I had, from this Chai, which came to India from England.
yeah, yeah,
Tea
yeah.
with milk.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we're drinking 3 times a day.
But you could have a soya version or
That's the only milk.
maybe or coconut milk version.
I am with you on this. This is good.
Yeah. I'll talk to you about it in a minute if you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Just a second.
So we will try. We don't use too many things.
Because I use soya milk in tea sometimes, or I just have a nice Darjeeling, just straight black, lovely Darjeeling
Yeah, I love
tea.
black tea.
I don't. It kind of ruins it if you put milk in on the really nice teas. But on like lower grade teas, I'll just put a dash of soya milk in, maybe. Beautiful.
See, my family is vegetarian.
Yeah.
But I can call it, we are 80% vegan because we only use his milk for the tea.
But why are you vegetarian? Why don't you eat meat?
So it's all, the family of the family.
What's-
being born
So what's the underlying principle of being
We
vegetarian?
are, in India, it's so many cultures.
I know, but like for you personally, why?
Because my father is vegetarian and his
So only because you were born into that culture. But is it not about the animals?
I'm child.
This baby's crying.
Yeah, baby's
Oh, the baby's crying. I mean, if you need to go.
I'll try
I can
my
give you
best.
I can give you a card. There is some documentaries you could watch.
Great.
But it was nice chatting to you, man.
Thanks.
But think about it, because I was vegetarian for 26 years. The last 6 years I've been vegan, and ditching the dairy was pretty
It's
easy.
not hard for my family to
Yeah.
be vegan. Just
I'm
we
going
need to
vegan
avoid
too.
milk and we are vegan.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
That's for
case we
vegan?
eat cheese.
No,
Yeah,
that's right,
yeah.
yes.
Very rare.
Yeah, they're
But
promoting
it's
vegan.
not healthy either.
Potato,
mom is already
cauliflower,
vegan.
vegetable, lentils. That's more.
Yeah, it's not healthy as well, the dairy.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Thank you
Go
so
look
much.
after the baby. Thanks for stopping, guys. All the best. Have a lovely trip. Hey, man. I'm Tom from England.
I'm Rohit from India.
From India. I'm just traveling here today, so I thought I'd get involved with these guys. You know what it is? A Cube of Truth.
Yeah.
So we are basically all vegan activists. This is very organized activism. It's like happening in many countries, many cities all around
But
the
not
world.
in India much.
I think it is now. I think there are chapters.
I want to promote too, if you want to include me into that.
But are you vegan or
I'm planning to go vegan.
Yeah?
Yes. My mother is vegan. That's my girlfriend.
what do you think has prevented you so far from?
See, I'm like non-vegetarian.
So you currently eat a
I-
more
I
typical
only
Western
have-
diet, or
No, but I was taking it just to pursue my gymming diet.
Right.
Just to promote my protein and my
Yeah,
carbs
yeah.
and all that stuff, right? So I now personally feel that I should go off now. Because, I think I'm quitting gymming
there's
now. Yeah.
what I'd say
Because,
to you is
fish.
there's a new documentary about to come out called The Game Changers,
Yeah.
and it shows vegan bodybuilders, athletes, world class
yes,
sports
yes,
sports stars
yes.
from
I've
all
just-
over the world.
Recently, what I bought was a vegan protein shake.
Yeah.
I had that.
Perfect, man.
And
It's
I-
actually
earlier
a lot of athletes are seeing improvement
Yes.
when they go vegan.
Yes, because you know what? There are a lot of what I can say is there's a lot of allergies coming in.
Yeah,
within
yeah,
the
yeah.
Animals.
It's not good for you.
It's not good.
If you think what milk's designed for, it's to get a baby cow
Yeah.
to be an adult cow.
Exactly.
So wrong species,
yeah,
wrong age.
Yeah.
We're not babies or cows.
we are thinking we're getting protein. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
we're getting calcium from
It's
it.
full of fat.
Yeah.
They pump them full of antibiotics because
Yeah.
the conditions are so bad. It's
If you try to make any Indian chapter for it, I would be on for it.
I
yeah.
think there probably already is.
There
Have a
is
look on
already.
Anonymous for the Voiceless. I'll give you a card.
All right. No,
Have a look for Anonymous for the Voiceless. But
Yes.
bear in mind, this
but
is
not
just
in Punjab, where I come from.
this is just activism, and it's just like one branch of the vegan community. There are millions of vegans worldwide. Obviously,
Yes.
I think India probably has the most vegetarians in the world, but
Yes.
probably not vegans because it's a heavy dairy
It's like
consumption.
the only up north is like the people who
Yeah.
like to eat a lot of non-vegetarian. Down south, people like to
But
eat
like-
fish because they are on the coastal areas.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so yes.
But like, You've got the protein powder. So what are the products? Would you say are like holding you back? Like milk, cheese, like
The only problem is since we've been small, we've been feeding a lot of milk.
so it's like,
It's like in your head.
ingrained in your mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Well, I was the
generation
same.
past,
You
yeah.
know, I was actually vegetarian growing up.
Yeah.
My parents were vegan, but they raised me vegetarian because vegan was kind of so unheard of. Can you imagine
I
going
never-
to a kid's birthday party and not having
Exactly.
cake and ice cream?
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
My mom doesn't
so
have any of
it was very much in my mind. But now, I think if I was born today, they would have just raised me vegan
Our
because
vegetables are also made
so
in
normal.
the olive oil or coconut oil, not in the oil, the oil ghee we make.
ghee,
at home.
butter,
So
yeah.
we don't do all that buttermilk and all
So
that.
your household is vegan? Your mother?
Only my mother.
Just your
is.
mother.
And she tells us also go vegan, stop
Yeah,
eating
yeah.
non-veg and things like that.
Is it
But
motivated by health or by
it
ethics?
is very,
Or-
and in fact we keep
or
laughing
both?
at her so that you must have milk, your
Yeah.
age is already 55 plus and you need to, so she has calcium, I'm sure, but I think
Well,
she
that's
needs
a myth.
calcium.
The
She has
calcium
tofu,
thing
she
is-
has tofu, she
Yeah.
doesn't have the cheese but she has tofu.
The calcium from milk thing is just a myth that's
Yeah,
been
it's just
promoted
a
by the
myth,
dairy
I'm
industry.
sure.
It's
I'm
not
sure.
even a particularly good
I'm
source of
sure,
calcium.
I'm sure.
Like broccoli has more calcium.
She eats a lot of broccoli, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
It's not a concern. No one,
Almonds, she eats a lot
no
of
one's
almonds.
calcium deficient.
Soya
I'm gonna
milk.
post
Right.
it on our social media. And
Soya
Do you want a card
milk.
as well? It's
I'll give it to her in fact. She will really like this.
so like, obviously it's a deviation from the normal. We're talking about like social, normal
Yeah,
upbringing.
yeah,
It's a deviation from that.
But it's
But
good.
it's-
I feel
it's
I
right.
feel
If you-
animals are also human beings, so I mean,
Yeah.
you can't just be like brutalizing.
They're
them.
individuals.
Yes.
They feel pain.
Yeah.
You look behind the eyes. There
Yeah,
is something
yeah,
in there.
But they just can't speak.
Well, we say this is called Anonymous for the Voiceless, so we say the animals are voiceless, but they're not
Exactly.
really. They scream in pain when they're dying.
Yeah.
They have
I
a voice.
Totally agree to you.
They're not speaking a human language, they're speaking their own language. They're trying to
Yeah,
resist
I mean, like,
death.
I was only having non-vegetarian just to promote my health diet,
Yeah,
so that
yeah.
I could pick up more weight, more carbs, more protein.
Well,
yeah.
do you know Germany's strongest man, Patrick Babumian?
Yeah,
He's
he's
vegan.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
got the world record for the Yule walk,
I
so
got
he's
that, yes.
500 kgs.
I got that. Yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like what? Earlier there were like not much of vegan products available.
Yeah, it's
And
easy
now,
today.
Now it is.
It's
now
easy.
It is. Say what if you talk about 5 years
And the
back?
more vegans there are, the easier it gets, because
Yeah,
it's
so,
supply
like,
and demand.
Yeah, it's just 5 years back there were no vegan products like available down in India.
But what I'd say is, what products are you looking for? Because vegetables, seeds, whole grains, nuts,
Yeah,
fruits.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
yeah.
what I eat now. Like the first step would be to just substitute all the animal-based products like meats, like vegan sausages, vegan
I've been
burgers.
vegetarian for good 2
soya
years.
milk.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Really enjoy it. But again,
But the final step is just go with the whole foods. That's the
Yeah.
healthiest. Whole foods only.
yeah.
Like lentils, beans, pulses, whole grains, lots of rice and stuff like that. It's great.
Exactly. It's all business basically. I mean,
But what do you think? So you're not vegan yet. What do you think is that final stopping block, or do you think basically you'll be vegan from
so
from
like,
today?
See, I used to drink alcohol. I'm off alcohol now.
Yeah.
So I'm going step by step now. Again, I'm anti-drinks. I'm anti-smoking.
Yeah.
Smoking once in a while. So
But like from this moment,
yeah.
what's stopping you from just saying,
Yeah,
right,
I'm
I'm
having
vegan
those
now?
vibrations.
Yeah,
like,
you're
of-
feeling this. We're
Yeah,
all here.
Exactly. I've always had this vibration of going out, like going off.
Because sometimes you
non-vegetarian.
just have to decide, this is the right thing to do.
Exactly.
On the health grounds, on the environment, but for the animals.
Exactly.
These industries are brutal. There are
Yeah.
billions of animals being enslaved for
Exactly.
the sake of taste
This
buds.
is what we worship in India.
These are the veal crates that I was mentioning before, so that they can't move. Baby cows separate from the mothers.
Yeah. So
Can't
we
move.
worship them in India. And,
Yeah, sacred animal.
Yeah, sacred animal.
But the dairy industry exploits them, so
Yeah.
there's a massive contradiction there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yeah,
It's
that's
horrible.
what- yeah,
I can't even look at the footage too long because I get too upset. I'm trying to stay in a positive mindset.
Exactly. You're doing a good job.
Thanks,
I'll
man.
be in touch with you.
Have
for
a good
sure.
time.
Same here, man.
Cheers.
Keep it up. Some come.